Good afternoon. It's August 30th, and I'm back. Miss me? I haven't walked for a week because of other commitments, one of which was getting my daughter settled at the University of Toronto. Well, not at the university, but in the apartment that she's living in while she attends her third year of University of Toronto. So that was part of what kept me away from walking. I guess I could have walked in Toronto, but there's somebody that already does that in 4K, I believe. 4K Walker or something like that he's called. So didn't figure they needed me. Also, it was very hot and humid there. It's about 25 here today and sunny. That's dry. It was only 12 this morning, so it's cooling off quite a bit here at night now. Anyway, it's Monday, and that's traditionally the day I walk along the creek, so I will keep to tradition and walk along the creek in some fashion today. Get my walking legs back, you might say. We'll go over to Cameron and get on the footbridge directly instead of walking along the dike down here, because I might want to walk along the dike when I come back later. We came home and the power's out in our neighborhood, so another reason I thought I'd go out and do the walk now, and hopefully by the time I get back they've got it fixed. We have rather a lot of power outages in this neighborhood, and I don't know why. We usually joke that it's kamikaze squirrels blowing themselves up inside the transformers, and sometimes that might actually be true. Seeing a few more campaign signs as the election campaign continues. Election's on September 20th. Personally, I never put up a campaign sign. I don't tell people how I vote. And I'm one of those voters that has voted a variety of different parties, so, you know, a swing voter, not a swinging voter, but a swing voter, yes. Some years. Depends on the election. Those nice row houses, I always point out. Cameron here will take us straight to the footbridge in the creek. If you're there on Facebook or YouTube, say hi. This is the usual time for walking, I know, but maybe that'll find new people. Last time I looked, I had like 115 subscribers, so my first experience flying since the pandemic hit, so aside from the masks, it wasn't too bad. Security was a long line in Toronto this morning, but we got there in plenty of time, so anyway, back at walking now, flying. Oh, back to unstable internet connection, I see. That's annoying. Snap out of it. There's that beautiful big garden. Walk by quite often. take its new house that's been watching being built bit by bit since I started doing this back in March. Over here, it is a big one. Seems to be on 2 lots as far as I can tell. This may be a somewhat shorter walk today, getting my walking legs back. And the day did start early, so I hate walking at noon, which it is here because other people walk at noon and I really don't like other people on the path with me. That's just because I'm antisocial. I'll always stop what the creek looks like today. And the other direction. Hi, Roger. Told you I'd be back. It's just a hiatus. All the most popular TV shows go on hiatus from time to time, so that the artists can work on other projects. I guess that's what I've been doing, you might say. Of course, the other cool thing is that I think this morning I finished my revisions on the Tangled Stars. I have to give it one more sort of spell check pass, and I will be submitting it. So, yay me! And immediately I have to write a short story set in the same universe for Shapers of Worlds Volume 2, the anthology I kickstarted. That'll be coming out this fall. Still got 1 or 2 writers who haven't confirmed my edits yet, but I think it's really maybe only 1 at this point. So I get my story written and I can finalize all that and move it on towards publication. Starting with the Kickstarter version, which is a little different from the commercial version. And that's what will get sent out to the backers. 200? No, it wasn't that many. Probably more like 160 or so at the most. Maybe even less, who wanted the trade paperback. And no, I don't mail those out by hand. The printer will do the honors. But then the commercial ebook and the commercial trade paperback and the commercial hardcover will all come out. Possibly an audiobook at some point. I didn't do one for the first book. We'll see. There's challenges, especially with an anthology. I think I have at least one author who did not relinquish or offer or let me have, however you want to put that, audiobook rights. So if I put one out, it would have to be minus his story. But I think everybody else signed the contract that includes audio rights, so it could still be pretty much the entire book. Back in my regular schedule means creek days are Monday and lake days are Friday when I walk around the lake. And in between, whatever I come up with. I might go back to the university this week. It's always popular. I just hope the power is back on by the time I get home so the air conditioning will be on, because I'm going to be warm when I get back in. The time is coming when it will be cool, no matter what time of the day you walk, but today it's actually quite warm. I'd guess 25 or 26 or something right now. I would guess by feel, I haven't checked it. Lots of little red berries in the bushes, choke cherries. Not edible for humans, unfortunately. Well, I suppose if they were, they'd be picked clean by people who come over here and pick them. I presume birds eat them, but even the birds, I mean, berries are designed to be eaten by birds for spreading of seeds. So I don't know if I've ever seen birds eating them, but surely they do.
You know how after a while
What else have I got in the works? I have a couple of editing jobs. One really big one I'll be getting on right away because it's due in about 3 weeks. So it's back at it. I'm going to start seeing leaves turning here as I continue to walk, heading into the fall. You're starting to see a few patches here and there. This time of year, you're never sure if it's autumn or dryness. Although there has been quite a bit of rain, and last I looked, it's supposed to rain again tomorrow, maybe even tonight. All lemon. I haven't had anybody check in from YouTube yet. If you're there, say hi. Horseshoe pitch. Nobody currently pitching, I guess. Probably you don't say horseshoeing. Like I said, I've started doing this walk since in March, and so I've been by here probably at least once a week, and only once have I actually seen anybody playing horseshoes. But there seems to be a horseshoe club, so it must be busier at certain times. Well, bright sun now. I couldn't see anything if you did say hi. The way the sun is on the screen at the moment. There's the creek over there. All the shades over there. Why am I walking over here? See more cyclists than walkers right now. It is lunchtime here, so you do see some people who are exercising on their lunch hour, I think. Now you can see the creek through the trees again. Heading toward that footbridge over there. Looks like I got an unstable internet connection warning again. That's odd. I hadn't been getting that for a while. And I don't think I've ever gotten it along this piece of the path, so I don't know what that's all about. Okay, over the creek again. Time for another view. It looks less algae-ish than it did for a while. Be a function of the extra rain we've had recently, or we had before, compared to what we had before anyway. It's still green though, so there's definitely still some algae enjoying itself down there in the deeps, or in the shallows really. And we'll follow this path, which again winds only for aesthetic reasons. Balkwell Art Center over there. That's Sure-Ann Park, supposed to be Sherman. Background. And quite lush and green. Again, this is watered, but then with the rain as well, it's made everything greener than it was in the hottest, driest days of summer we were having. Of course, I have done a couple of walks in the rain and one in a snowstorm, so I won't say that neither rain nor snow nor sleet nor hail shall stop this live streaming walker from his appointed rounds, but I usually have managed to get something done, even if it's brief, in really bad weather. Nice to get the breeze, which I do from time to time. And keeping an eye on the microphone, hopefully it stays charged. Apparently they've been spraying for mosquitoes here. It's very pleasant in the shade. The sun is quite warm. It's kind of what's going on here. Oh, I know one thing that starts this week. I pick up music for the next Lyric Singers concert. I'd love to tell you what the title is, but it's slipped my mind. We'll be rehearsing in masks and distanced and all that, but we will be rehearsing in person. At least that's the current plan. Concert's late November, I think, so hopefully by then numbers are dropping again. I would expect it, based on previous curves of the epidemic, but we'll see. I'm not Nostradamus or a prophet. There's some yellow in that one. Or at least a paler green. Lots of grass here. So now we come back down close to the creek, and I'll walk along it. What I might do is cross the Pasqua Street Bridge, walk on the south side of the creek, and then come back through the neighborhood over to my left, where there'll be more shade, and it'll just be a different approach to the creek thing. The creek thing. There's the creek thing itself. No birds today that I've seen. No ducks, no geese, no pelicans. A little early for them to have migrated, so they must be around somewhere. Or I'll walk down the next chunk of this and come back over there. I've done that before. I have to decide as I come up to this bridge, what will my choice be? And I think I've been over there more often than I've been over there, so maybe I'll go over there to my left. Go up here and go across this bridge. I think there's a sidewalk, so. I don't know is can I get up on the other side of the bridge if I go under? I don't think so. Well, maybe. Now there's a sidewalk on the other side. Could do it. Could do it. Let's do that. Then I can go under the bridge here. Come up the other side. It's more interesting. Oop. Graceful. Okay. Hello. We're under the Pasqua Street Bridge here. We're going to walk over to the other side of the creek now. Going up and around here and across the bridge that we just walked under. Control speed, keep right. I promise I will do both those things. Alrighty, I don't think I've crossed the bridge on this side, on this piece of sidewalk, so hey, I found something new that I haven't done before. The path continues on in that direction. And of course, there's the creek in all its greeny glory. The next bridge is the Louvain Expressway over there. No good way over there on foot, anywhere around here. If I went up to 13th, I could get over safely. But not today. Today, I'm coming this way, on this side of the creek. And there she blows. And keep an eye on my feet. There could be gopher holes in this bank, and that would be an unpleasant surprise. Lots of grasshoppers jumping up for sure. There's a bit of a weir here too. It's practically Niagara Falls. If you have sufficient imagination and you're the size of an ant. We'll go up on this little hill over here, get a view. Then that'll be our turnaround point. Well, kind of. We'll go south for a bit, and then we'll be headed east again. I don't know if this is a remnant of an old road before the Luban was built. I suspect that's what it is. And now it's just a truncated little dead end here. But it gives you a bit of an elevated view of things. Sort of an industrial area over there, and then the airport is right over there. Regina International Airport. Down here's the creek again, the Luban Bridge, curling club way over there. And Mosaic Stadium is the white bump in the distance. Well, I've walked along this alley before. It's not all that exciting, so I think I'll go back to the residential street. Start working my way back. Trying to be working my way back to you. Yeah, I know. I always sing that song when I say that phrase, but everything's a song cue if you know enough songs. And if you're a musical theater and you think in terms of song cues, in particular. Oh, wait. Somebody said hi, but I haven't been able to see it. There's some shade up here, so maybe I'll see who that is. There's the weir again. We'll walk down this street. Which is, seems highly appropriate because it is Edward Street, named after me. They just didn't know it when they named it. They probably thought they were naming it after King Edward, but I know better. See? Edward Street. Yeah, what's the show? Oh, there's been a few people say hi there. What have we got? Hi, Miriam. And hello. How's it, Tavo? I haven't seen your name there for a while. And who else is there? Ayo? Ajo? Ajo? I'm not sure. Well, I guess my YouTube followers have realized I'm back on. Said I hadn't seen your name for a while. I haven't seen anybody's name for a while because I haven't done it for a week. But merely a temporary interruption while I took care of some other things, and now I'm back. There will occasionally be such interruptions as life intervenes, but I did 170 consecutive days. Would have been nice to do a whole year, but it was never very likely. No, not quite half a year. You may see the occasional grasshopper jump up when their little flapping wings hit the sunlight. Where do I live in Regina? Over in the Crescents. older neighborhood close to downtown. I always walk through there because I live in that area, so I frequently walk through the Crescents, and that's why. Our cathedral, which is just north of that neighborhood, is the Cathedral neighborhood. Right, I'll head back over this way. Go on the shady side. Now we've turned the corner and we're heading home. We'll cross Pasqua here. Well, if you're ever in Regina, reach out. You can contact me through the YouTube page or my website, edwardwillett.com. This is Pasqua Street, so the bridge we crossed right down there, and the creek, but kind of not following the creek as closely for now. I'll get back to it just before I finish here. I walk down the alleys, but I don't feel like alleys today. Don't feel like an alley cat. Wascana Street. I'm hoping the power will be back on when we get home, and I get home. Hopefully it's on wherever you are. There's some lovely flowers. Flowers probably have a month at the most before the frost kills them, and it could be sooner than that. It'd be rare to get to the end of September without a killing frost. So, and it could be in the next 3 weeks. It could be in the next 2 weeks if we're really unlucky, but it doesn't look like that in the forecast. Sheldon Williams Collegiate up ahead. Been in there a few times. That's where my daughter took band, so I would drop her off when she was in elementary school. Drop her off here for band practice. The Sheldon Williams Area Music Program, aka the Swamp. They're washing windows or something. There seems to be a platform on the side of the building there. Or is that something else? Oh no, I guess that's part of the Wouldn't be original infrastructure sticking up in front of the windows like that. Must be something they added later. I've never walked directly at it like this. On 18th, I've always come from down there because I drop Alice off right over there and then head on back this way. We are now heading back this way, so that's similar. See a little bit of yellow in that tree too. Just little spots of it now, but it will all go yellow soon enough. Unfortunately, we mostly get yellow in our trees around here. It's not like, well, Ontario, where I just was in the fall, and they have all those maple trees, you get all the reds and oranges. We get some, but mostly not. Mostly it will go yellow. And then brown when the leaves fall off. It's a fairly short-lived season of autumnal glory. And then the snow will come eventually. We could have our first snowfall within a month too. More likely in October, more likely comes to stay pretty much in November. Varies from year to year. Sheldon Williams playing fields. The Battle of Waterloo was won on the playing fields of Eton. It's a very famous quote, but I don't know who quoted it, who said it first. I only know it because I saw it in a Mad magazine. That's the only reason I know that quote. And of course, they were using it for a joke. And there's the creek again right there. But I'm actually kind of avoiding the creek today. And I think I'll want to go this way. I haven't walked in this neighborhood for a while, so makes a change. Microphone's still good, still working, which is good. Tried to say working and going, and it came out gooding, or good, I don't know. There are like three things going through my head. Nice little front garden look there, landscaping. Oh, nice one over there too, front garden. Like that one. China Avenue up there. Sheldon Williams still lurking over there. It's like it's following us because of the way the road's curved. You think you've left it behind, and there it is again. Maybe I can see any comments that have been up here in the shade, if anything. Oh, hey Moran. I'm a writer. I write books. That's my profession. Science fiction and fantasy, but nonfiction as well. More than 60 books. And I've also done acting and playwriting and directing, and I sing. I've been self-employed for 20, what year is this? Oh, 34 years? That can't be right. No, that's not right. 30, not quite 30 years, that's it. 28 years. I moved to Regina 30-some years ago, but I've been self-employed only since 1993. So a long time, but not quite the 30-some years I originally said. Okay, this will take us through Waterfall Park over here. And then back along the creek and back home. By the ball fields. Kiwanis Park here, playground. These are condos over here. Getting thirsty between the wind and the warmth. Can't drink from the waterfall though. It's not potable water. I think it probably comes straight from the creek. You definitely don't want to drink that. Strip mall over here, a few stores in it. The waterfall park is down in here, so we'll take a passo through it. Something like that. Thank you. There's the waterfall. Another note here. No, I wasn't born in Regina. I was born in the United States. But I've lived here for 30 years. So I was new here in 1988 when we moved up, and I grew up in Weyburn, which is a small town south of here. So Regina is not my hometown, really, except for the fact I've lived here longer than anywhere else. But not where I was born, not where I was raised. There's too many people down there. I'll stick up here along the pretty flowers. I'll take this other path around to get a look at the waterfall. Which is really a fountain, as I've said before. You'll see it over there. Oh, it's not running. I wonder why. Oh, well, there's no point going over there at all, for sure. If the waterfall's not running, it's just a kind of a little cliff face. Stone wall. Wonder why. It's been running for a long time now. Every other time I've been along here, since about May when they turned it on for the first time. Perhaps it's being repaired. Back up to the creek. There she goes. Tracing my steps a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. Something in my mouth, hopefully not a bug, but it could have been. There's footbridge, we've got to get to that. Cross over to the other side again. 4 bridge crossings today. As I said, surprisingly few birds. You usually see at least a few ducks or geese, occasional pelican on the creek, but maybe it's the time of day. Maybe they're not as likely to be out in the middle of the day, more likely in the morning. I don't know. Tomorrow, I'll probably be walking in the morning again. Because I like to do it first thing and then get on with whatever work I have to do. Back over the footbridge. This time we'll walk along the dike on the other side. For the final little leg of the walk here. Really bright. Can't really see anything again at the moment. Let me get out here. Everything's looking pretty good right now, thanks to some recent rain. And again, we're right at the end of summer, so the leaves will start to turn the next couple of weeks probably. I mean, really start to turn. So when I started back in the spring, these bushes were all really tall. They recently trimmed them way down, I presume for safety reasons, so you can see the path when the house is over there and it's not a secluded path where someone could conceivably lurk. I've never heard of anybody lurking on the path along here, but it's not inconceivable, I guess. Again, see the berries on the bush, but not edible. Some more down here. Little berry bushes. Here's the garden I walked by many times. When I started, they were just putting the dirt in, and so that's where it's gone over the summer. The big sunflowers and everything. We'll go right on up to the stairs. I've sometimes taken that alley I just went by, but not today. More park over there, really floodplain, flood control. So it's a bit of a berm on the other side in case of a flood to keep it from reaching the houses. And of course that's what this dike is all about. More berries. And just a couple more blocks and I will be done this afternoon's walk. The return of walking in Regina. Got another commitment coming up later in the month, so there'll probably be another period of time when I'm not recording my walks. So don't panic. I will come back. Oh, what's that? Can I read it? The only trick to writing a book is to do it. You read, you have to be able to use language well, and you start putting words on paper or on a screen, and if you put enough of them, you eventually have a book. Now, whether it's a good book or not, that's beyond anybody's power to teach, I think. There's tons of writing stuff in classes, but I think especially telling a novel or a story, I think some people are more predisposed to being able to do that than others, and I'm not sure how much of it is teachable and how much of it is innate. Anyway, I don't teach book writing. I've occasionally taught, little classes on certain elements of writing, but I don't think I could teach someone to write a book because maybe I'm not entirely sure how I do it myself. But my podcast, The World Shapers, at theworldshapers.com. If you want to hear writers talk about the process of writing, that's what it's all about. There's 91 episodes. A new one just went up over the weekend. I forgot to mention that. With Joshua Palmatier, fellow author with the Daw Books, and someone else who's kickstarted anthologies. So there's 91 episodes, and in every one I talk to a different, often an internationally famous science fiction and fantasy author about how they go about writing books. So I couldn't teach you how to write a book, but you can listen to other people talk about how they do it, and that might give some insight. And I did interview myself on there, so you can hear me interview me. I had my student, M.E.C. Blake, interview me in an early episode. He sounds just like me, only he talks with a Texas accent. Strangest thing, how much alike we otherwise sound. Okay, well, I always stop at this stop sign when I'm coming this direction, so that's what I will do again when I get to the stop sign. So, thanks for joining me after a brief hiatus. I guess that makes this season 2 of Walking in Regina. I hope there's power, but I wouldn't bet on it. I'll find out in a couple of minutes. Okay, I will stop here. So thanks for walking with me if you're live, or walking with me watching the replay if that's what you're watching. And I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.